On behalf of my dad and my entire family, we would like to express our gratitude for the huge outpouring of prayers, love, and concern that we have received from all over the world these past few days. We would also like to thank the physicians, the nurses, and all the hospital staff that has taken care of my dad. It has been a very difficult time for our entire family, especially my dad, and we are truly grateful for your support. What happened to my dad should have never happened to any human being, regardless of the circumstance. We were horrified and shocked and sickened to learn what had happened to him and to see what had happened to him. We hope that in the future, nothing like this happens again. Thank you so much again for your support.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Don Allen, Associated Press. There was talk early on that Mr. Dow perhaps suggested that his race was an issue. Do you believe the fact that his race played into this?
I personally do not. I don't think this is a matter of race at all. I'll share with you a email I got actually late last night from actually sounds like an Irishman to me on paper, who suggested that Dr. Dow was the modern-day Asian Rosa Parks. I don't think that's the case at all. I think what happened to Dr. Dow could have happened to any one of us. Yes, sir, in the green tie. Can you state your name and...
When you saw this video, can you tell us what you were feeling? Take us to that, the emotion of what you were feeling when you saw this video as a replay countless times now, and also you can give us an update on how your father is doing.
Can you do that? If feel free, Crystal. If you don't want to, don't. But if you can.
Like I said earlier, we were completely horrified and shocked at what had happened to my father when we learned of the incident. Seeing it on video made those emotions exacerbated. My dad is healing right now, and that's all I have to say about that.
He's still in the hospital.
I can tell you that he was discharged late last night, that he did, in fact, suffer a significant concussion as a result of disembarking that plane. And I can also tell you that he had a serious broken nose, injury to the sinuses, and he is going to be undergoing shortly reconstructive surgery in that regard. There have been a lot of inquiries about did he really lose any teeth? Yeah, he lost 2 front teeth. But the concussions are sort of a iffy condition. I don't know, ultimately, long-term, hopefully there will not be any significant repercussions because of that, but he's shaken.
Mr. Demetro, I'm
Yes,
Jessica
sir.
with ABC7.
Yes, sir.
Tom, Steve Forrest from CNN. Yesterday, Oscar Munoz of United said in his interview that he and his people have reached out to Dr. Dow, but have had no luck. Have either of you gentlemen heard from United and spoken directly either with Munoz or his people?
The answer is no.
I have not heard anything either. And to the best of my knowledge, and I checked this, I have not heard it from United either. And I asked Crystal this morning whether or not her family had a voice message or something, and the answer is no.
Yes, ma'am.
My parents immigrated from Vietnam.
So nothing related to China?
No.
Yes, sir.
I wonder, could you talk a little bit? I think a lot of us were wondering what was going through your father's mind when he was holding on to the post and saying, just kill me, just kill me. Can you talk about, and I know he was on a long international flight, can you talk about what his mental state was and what he was trying to express there?
I think I can, if you don't mind. Only because I asked him that question. Here's what he told me. He said that he left Vietnam in 1975 when Saigon fell. And he was on a boat. And he said he was terrified. He said that being dragged down the aisle was more horrifying and harrowing than what he experienced in leaving Vietnam. That was his response to me. So I give it to you.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
The Chicago Department of Aviation officers are not united.
I'm sorry, you are?
I'm Mr. Sullivan, CBS 2 News.
Thank you.
The Chicago Department of Aviation officers are not United employees.
True.
What is United's responsibility for their actions?
Real simple. The airplane is under the control of the pilot. The pilot controls everything. He's the boss. He's actually the captain of the ship. And so, Mr. Munoz smartly, I think, said, you know, we goofed up. United, we goofed up. It's our responsibility. Because under the law, the captain of the ship, United Airlines in this case, is responsible for what occurs on that. Should this forceful, violent, my word, exercise of police power have been allowed once it was viewed and seen by the flight crew to continue? No, shouldn't have. So, were these three officers, these stormtroopers for a moment, doing the right thing? No, not at all. This was not a troubled passenger. This was not a nut job. This was not a threat to anybody. Should he have been unceremoniously dragged out of that plane the way he was? He's a 69-year-old man. Is that really the way we want to treat the aged?
Does the city of Chicago bear any responsibility for the officers' action?
Yes, they are employees of the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago is, yeah. Just because United is responsible doesn't mean the city of Chicago isn't also responsible. That'll all be sorted out. But it more than one can be responsible for a single event. And in this case, I believe that's the case. Yes, ma'am.
You got the video on Fox 32. Do you know anything right now about those officers' use of force training? Is that one of the things you'll be looking at? Because it seems that there are several instances that they can use a different tactic to get that gentleman out of the scene.
Correct. So, great question. A lot of people have asked, well, why don't you just sue? Why are we fooling around here? Because we're not ready to sue. We're doing our due diligence. When we file our lawsuit, it's going to be because everything, every word, every preposition is in that lawsuit for a reason. We have been getting calls from people who used to work for the aviation department, who trained these officers, and nothing in the training, I submit, as it will be proven, says in a non-confrontational situation where the other passengers are in jeopardy, should this type of conduct ever be utilized or force utilized. So, there you go.
Tom, quick question. Phil Lowe, CNBC.
Hi, Phil.
Do you view this situation as an isolated incident, or you say you've heard from other United employees? Do you look at this airline as having a culture of disrespecting customers?
Well, that's a different question. I mean, there is clearly, I have learned enough from people out there who have contacted us that, yeah, I would say there is a culture of disrespect, of rudeness. But what's unfortunately occurred here in Dr. Dow's case is rudeness, bullying customers has gone the next step now to physical injury. So I don't know if it's society as a whole that everybody's just angry. I don't know what it is, but this is a doctor who was originally asked to buy a voucher, get a free ticket, whatever, and he said, "No, I have a practice. I have to go work tomorrow and treat patients," which is true. So he was singled out for reasons maybe we're going to find out in this discovery process of the lawsuit, but I don't know what they are. I already answered what I believe they aren't. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, there are a lot of angry people out there, United customers, United employees. So yeah, it's something that Mr. Munoz and his people need to look at, because the public relations problems that they have aren't just limited to this video. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, ABC 7 here in Chicago. I'm actually a Christian news staff in Government. So many people have learned about your father through this video. What do you want people to know about your father, who he is, not just these few seconds of video that we've seen?
Thank you for your question. My dad is a wonderful father. He has raised, with my mother, 5 great children who have gone on to do great things and will continue to do great things. He is a loving grandfather. And at the end of the day, that is the person who we are trying to protect and take care of. Thank you.
Okay.
As my immediate family and my husband and children are here in Chicago, we are deeply affected by it. Our lives have been interrupted, and our normalcy is not where it was on Sunday morning. Furthermore, my siblings, who all have thriving careers and are in graduate schools, their lives have been interrupted. And as some of you may know, they're in the healthcare field, and they are trying their best to do their job without further interruption from local media, whomever might be stepping into their lives right now.
That handsome gentleman in the silver hair.
Thanks, Tom. Larry Ellen from Fox News. Tom, your lawsuit may have long-term consequences, but what would you like to see in the short term from United, from other airlines, from Oscar Munoz?
Well, I think short term, they need to, Mr. Munoz said, there's going to be internal investigation and et cetera. Right now, all airlines, they need to come out and figure out this overbooking situation as it exists today. And whether that's how high will they go, and eventually somebody's going to say, yeah, I'll leave. They've got to figure out a way short term to solve what I'm calling the overbooking situation that we as consumers are being faced with. So I think that's the biggest problem. I don't think anybody has to tell any airline, any police force to not do what we all saw on the video. I think in the short term, that'll never happen again. I'm hopeful.
And as a follow-up, do you see yourself going forward on a battery theory, infliction of emotional distress?
Well, that's all part of it. I mean, under our system, the elements of damages include physical injuries, mental injuries, emotional injuries. I mean, we don't know the extent of them, so I have no clue where that's going to lead us as far as Dr. Dow goes. And again, I stand here and I say I hope he makes a full and complete recovery. That's the hope. But the fact of the matter is, these elements of damages, the airlines need to be aware of, because if they continue to physically abuse us, that's going to be problematic. Wait. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the city had...
And you are?
Oh, sorry, Marnie Pike with the Daily Herald. The city had indicated that in some way Dr. Dow had represented some sort of a security threat. Can you... do you have any idea why they might have said that?
I missed that altogether.
Oh, the city had indicated that there was some sort of security threat possibly posed by Dr. Dow. Do you have any idea why they might have said that?
You know, that's not helping their PR image either, is it? No, that's ridiculous. What would his conspiracy be? Conspiracy to do what?
Talk about the city's response.
Pardon me?
Did you talk about the city's response? You talked about United's response. Did you talk about the city and the airport's response?
I understand there's going to be in the chamber of the aldermen today a discussion with the aviation department people. So I have not heard a response from the city. So I don't know what their response is. It can't be good.
Was there a point where your client could have...
And you are?
Respectfully from CBS.
I know.
Was there a point, not to diminish or take away what happened at all, but there are many people that have asked, what if he had just complied with the officer? At a certain point, was there a moment where he could have complied with the uniformed officers asking him to get off the plane?
Could he have? Sure he could have.
Could he have?
Could he have? Yes, he could have, but he needed to get home. He's a physician. He had patients to see the next day. He didn't want to get up and comply and be sent home on I think the flight was 3:30 the next day. No, that was not good. His wife, by the way, is also a physician. She also had patients to see. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, Louise Moore with the Mail. We've seen a statement from United earlier this week that said that Dr. Dow attempted to strike law enforcement. How do you respond to that?
I missed your question.
We've seen a statement from United earlier this week that said that Dr. Dow attempted to strike law enforcement.
To strike?
Yes.
Hit?
Strike law enforcement. How do you respond to that?
Never happened. Never happened. I think many of you might have seen the second video of the 19-week pregnant woman behind Dr. Dow, Ms. Cummings, with her 2.5-year-old sitting on her lap. And you can see Dr. Dow not striking anybody, trying to strike anybody. He just wanted to go home. Yes, sir.
You've had a chance to talk to some of the people on the plane. Can you give me some of the reactions that you've gotten from people who were on that plane, just about their visceral reactions to what was happening as it was going on?
They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. Now, I noted yesterday, I guess, that United is paying each of the passengers on that plane their full fare, and one wonders why they would do that. But I can tell you it's not going to keep these people quiet for what they observed. Miss Cummings herself, who contacted us, said it wasn't until these 3 guys came and violently took him away, that she was fearful for her own safety. And when passengers see this scene, if you will, I don't know what they were thinking, but I know the ones that have contacted us were concerned and worried. My word again, angst.
Mr. Demetrio.
How did you feel about the 3 apologies from United? Were you
The apology? I thought it was staged. I thought it was, you better get out there and correct what you said originally. I think you ought to make it sound like you mean it. I didn't get that feeling.
Besides settling this potential...
You are.
ABC News. Besides settling this potential lawsuit, what is it that you want United to do moving forward? And for those of us who don't know your father and just met him through this video, as someone said earlier, besides being a good father, what kind of person is he? What, in that moment, what was going through his mind? Was he trying to defend himself, back himself out of the corner? Walk us through that.
I think I've answered that question. I told you what he was feeling as he was being dragged down. What do we hope United does? The right thing, obviously. I think the whole culture has to change. I think, what was the name of that movie? Planes, Boats, Trains, Automobiles with Steve Martin. Anybody remember that, where he has his encounter with the lady at the counter? It was a rent-a-car person. It's really funny. And what we want, we don't want that anymore. We want, whether it's a rental car company or a grocery store, or it doesn't matter. Our doctors, our healthcare providers. Dr. Dow, by the way, has 4 children who are doctors. Okay, it's service. It's service, and it should be service with a smile. And it should be, as I mentioned, I think they have to stop the overbooking. I think they need to have more statistics to figure out, okay, how many tickets can we really overbook? Or how many seats do we have to keep available in case some crew members have to get somewhere else? I only know what I've read, and that is that each of these 4 individuals had, from Louisville, flights taking them hither and yon the next morning. Yes, sir.
I'm Andy Frank from Wall Street Journal. Could you elaborate on the types of patients, how many patients, and when you had to see them, and also this broader medical practice? How many offices you practice with your mother?
Yeah, we're going to keep his professional life. It's not the purpose of this conference today.
What's the follow-up? The medical board in Kentucky says that he's only allowed to practice 1 day a week at the office of Dr. Godfrey Listentown. That office said he doesn't work there. So could you please elaborate on...
No, I won't elaborate on his professional practice as it exists today. Yes, sir.
Do you have right now any particular data or investigation if anybody gave the order to use extreme force in case somebody didn't want to leave their seats?
I don't. I hope no one gave that order. Wait, Andy. Yes, sir.
One thing that you're talking about, refusing to get up and exit the plane with the officer, a lot of people have also been pointing out the fact that Dr. Dowd ran back onto the airplane.
Yes.
Do you see any difference between those 2 series of actions? Or
I do. I see a difference because, as I stated, the man suffered a concussion. He has absolutely zippo nada memory of going back onto that airplane. Not a lick of it. No, sir. Yes, sir.
Charlie Wojciechowski from Channel 5.
Yes.
A lot of federal regulations govern the behavior of both the passengers on the plane and the staff of that airplane, giving a lot of authority to that staff. Do those regulations need to change, in your opinion, in regard to situations like this?
I don't think so. I think there has to be regulations governing. Somebody has to have control, and it's got to be the pilot. and the flight crew have to follow the captain's orders. So obviously we're going to learn, I'm sure, the captain at some point called on the aviation department police force to come in and do that which Mr. Munoz said yesterday will never, ever happen again. Yes, ma'am. No. Class action lawsuits are a whole different breed, and I don't believe this will be. I'm hoping that Dr. Dow is the only one who has ever been so physically, forcefully, violently removed from an airplane. I'll be shocked if someone else surfaces. Yeah.
Andy Wilson from Louisville Area Journal.
Yes, sir.
Did the United crew make errors before Dr. Dow was removed from the plane? And so, what were they? Should the captain have been involved in the
Yeah, I think, and I think airlines try to do this routinely, and that is all issues of overbooking are usually done at the counter outside the jetway to the plane. So it's thankfully few and far between where actually after everybody's seated, then the removal begins. So I don't know that the United employees did anything wrong. I don't know why it took until after everybody was seated for this to unfold. Again, I've told you I've gotten so many inquiries from people where people in first class recently, United Airlines, were removed, and they were told, this is what they were told, first class passengers, someone more important needs this seat. And they were kicked off the plane, first class, frequent flyer, miles plus, and all that stuff. Red carpet club, gone. Because someone more important. So I don't know, I don't believe there's, I think it's a case by case, maybe it's case by case. I don't know if there are any standard procedures. We're going to get them if they exist. Yes, sir.
My name is Andy Fives with ABC News. And Crystal, question for you. Mr. D'Amico has said that your father understands that he's going to be the guy who stands up for passengers going forward, that they're going to be vocal about the whole subject of what passengers are entitled to. So rather than this lawsuit being about an individual incident, it seems that your attorneys are elevating it into something much bigger. Is your father ready to be a symbol?
She doesn't know.
Well,
I believe that's the way it's going to pan out. Someone asked, what else do you hope to accomplish here? I hope that's what happens. I hope he becomes a poster child for all of us. Someone's got to. When we're, huh?
Is he prepared for what might come?
I hope he is. I certainly will work with him on that. I certainly will be, as will Steve, as will his family. Yeah, Dad, you're the guy. Someone's got to do it, because what I've learned is most people, yeah, they're treated rudely, they're bullied, there's discourtesy all over the place. That doesn't rise to running to the courthouse and bringing a lawsuit. So it took something like this to, again, get a conversation going. And I think it will continue. Yes, sir.
Paris Sets, Chicago tonight, WKTW. By FAA law, the airline is allowed to offer up to $1,350 to get a passenger voluntarily. What was the final amount that they offered Dr. Dow? What was the final offer that they?
I think it was $800. $800.
You really didn't do enough they did not offer enough to give him voluntarily leave. They could have offered more.
No, they could have offered $3,000. Okay? He and his wife needed to get back. Okay? So they weren't the ones. But there were, you've got to figure, I don't know, $1,300. Yeah, I'll go tomorrow afternoon. Maybe somebody would have done that. We'll never know.
To clarify something you said earlier, clarify something you said earlier. Did Mr. Munoz or United, did you speak with, you said you did not speak with them, have they reached out?
They have not reached out. I thought we were clear. I'm saying he misspoke. I'm saying he misspoke.
Now that the voicemail did not fall.
Exactly. Yeah. Is that clear? He did not. Or did his people. So, that's fine. I have no quarrel with that. I have no quarrel with that.
Do you want to hear from him?
Not really. I saw him. I saw him yesterday.
Would he change something if he called the Dow family or Mr. Dow himself?
I don't know what he would change.
Do you want him to?
Not really. I mean, I'm not looking for a telephone conversation with Mr. Munoz. Okay? I don't believe that would be fruitful. I'd rather he spend his time changing the culture of United Airlines. Okay? Chatting. By the way, his public apology to the family, we accept with gratitude. Okay? But I don't need to... Sir?
You're saying he lied yesterday, was untruthful about communicating with...
That wasn't my word. I said he misspoke. I don't know. Maybe he thought he did. I don't know. But he did not. Okay. Okay. Somebody who hasn't...
When do you plan on filing this lawsuit, and will it be in federal court or state court?
I'm sorry, and you are?
Sorry, Javan Hannah Bloomberg. When do you plan on filing this suit?
When our investigative work is done, we will file suit. I don't really have a clue when that'll be. It's true, we have 2 years to file it. I promise you it won't be that long. But it will be filed in state court, Circuit Court of Cook County. Yes, ma'am.
Marty Pike with the Daily Herald. Can you clarify, was Mrs. Dow on the flight with him, and had she been asked to give up her seat as well?
Well, I think yeah, I guess as a couple they were asked to do that, right? Anything else? Wait.
Can you follow up on that? Can you please clarify, because previous reports have said that Dr. Dow was the fourth passenger who was going to be removed. 3 others had already complied. So are you saying that he and his wife were asked to get off the plane, or is he alone with that?
I actually don't know how it occurred, but I do know that one husband and one wife would not have left each other. So.
Bring that up because there's been all the talk about how he said I have to see patients tomorrow. Did he point out that his wife was on the plane with him and was going to be going home without him at that point?
I don't have an answer for you. I don't know.
Mr. Dimitri.
But I'm sure, I'm sure he did. Yes, sir. Right there. You got to give your name again.
Sure. Mitch Smith, the New York Times. I wonder if you also did the timeline for that day. Was he any connection to Chicago? Had he been visiting here? Another edition or flight? Is Dr. Dow in the Chicago area now, or is he back home from Texas?
Dr. Dow is in a secure location. I must tell you, I can't tell you where he is because you guys are really good at what you do, and our plea is please leave the guy alone. Really, let him go.
Can we anticipate him speaking?
Huh?
Can we anticipate him speaking about this?
Say it one more time.
Can we anticipate him speaking out about this at all?
Yes, I pledge to you that will happen, but not now. Okay? Wait a minute.
Question about the timeline of the day.
Wall Street Journal, as I recall.
Yes, I understand. Can you please tell us where he and his wife were coming from, and how long they've been traveling, and also...
Do you guys know?
Not seated next to him on the plane. She's not in seat.
Well,
My guy was making a connection in Chicago from a trip to California.
For vacation, business?
Vacation.
anybody over here I'm ignoring?
Back here. Hello.
Didn't mean to.
Jessica D'Onofrio with ABC7 Chicago. You say, just a clarification here, you say that you full-heartedly accept the apology from United, but yet you say you think it was staged as well.
Yeah, I think his people, PR people, say we're taking a beating here. I mean, United has been taking a beating, okay? And that's not our role to beat them up. Our role is just to let the system work, okay? But they have been taking a beating, and I think, yeah, he was told, get out there. Go on a national, he picked Good Morning America. Okay, I'm sure he would have picked Charlie Rose if he could. The fact is, I'm sure. So he was sought after. And he had to get out. He had to apologize. Really, think about it. Look at the video. I mean, even our president last night said that was horrible. Spicer said it. Anybody that looks at it says it.
So how can you accept a staged apology in your opinion?
Because it's the right thing to do. He apologized, we accept that. But that's not going to let him off the hook here. Yes, sir.
When the doctor does return to Kentucky, will he fly commercial or fly another?
Well, I'll tell you what he told me yesterday. He has no interest in ever seeing an airplane. My guess is he'll be driven to Kentucky. Okay? And I don't really blame him. Yes, ma'am.
Just following up on an earlier question, was his wife also on that flight? And was she also bumped from it?
She was on the flight. She wasn't bumped. I don't think she was bumped. Do you know?
She wasn't bumped, but she was told to leave the plane once he was removed.
What was the reason they told her to leave the plane?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Really? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tim Wall from Reuters. Just wondering, kind of your age, Sal?
I don't see how that's relevant, but I'm 33 years old.
Thanks. And you talked about his medical practice in the current time not being part of what's going on today. Can you talk about the coverage of his past medical practices, of the issues that he appears to have run into in Kentucky?
Speak to what now?
There's a lot of media coverage about his, about Dr. Dow's past missteps, things he's run into in Kentucky.
Yeah. Let me just, I'll address that. Does he have serious bumps in the road? Yeah. He's 69 years old. I can tell you this, and it's I guess because I'm a lawyer. I sort of zero in on what's the law. The law is that something that remote in time is not relevant to what occurred last Sunday. It's not admissible in evidence in a court of law. So it's not, for me, as far as I'm concerned, it's not the story here. If this case goes to jury, they will never, ever hear. They'll be instructed, if they have heard, to disregard it. So I'm not going to make that the issue. The issue is, as we all, I think, know, we want to go out to O'Hare Field, or whatever field we pick. We want to have no mistreatment along the way to our final destination. Bottom line. Yes, ma'am. Could you speak just a little louder?
My name is Wei with CCTV. My question is is you were reporting that with this incident that had a problem with people in China. And my question is that your family is immigrated from Vietnam.
I was not on the plane. I don't know what was said.
Is there any family members or your grandparents immigrated from China to Vietnam?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
How are the injuries? Specific
how were the injuries caused?
Well, they were caused by his removal from the airplane. So the three individuals involved, I don't know their names. We've requested them. We've requested, we've requested a lot of things that aren't in our control. The reason for my petition that we filed yesterday was because the City of Chicago and United have control of things we don't have control of. And believe it or not, sometimes things go missing, sometimes they disappear, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't know. If he was, I don't know that.
Regarding the city and the officers, do you know what union they're with that has this provision in their collective bargaining agreement that the city can't disclose their names?
I don't. Yes, sir.
Do you know if this randomly, randomly selection of passengers is a common procedure? They just took it,
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, sir.
United's contract with carriers allows them to deny boarding of passengers when there's overbooking done volunteers. That doesn't seem to even mention removing passengers. Does it allow us to remove passengers once they're boarding?
I don't know. I'm going to hope that it does, because then this would really be egregious, but I don't know. Okay. Yes, ma'am. You got to speak a little louder, please.
Is that at random, actually, or what's the status of the other three passengers with my airline?
I don't know the answer. We have requested in my petition that was filed yesterday for that exact information. So I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know how they do it. I've heard stories on how they do it, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't know for sure. So I'd like to be more exact.
Sorry, just to follow up, but you did say that you don't think race is part of the issue.
I don't think so. I mean, no, that would really be adding insult to injury here, literally.
I believe the airplane was actually operated by a Republic Airways crew. Does that affect your strategy? Would that let United off the hook at all?
Nope. And, to his credit, whether he wanted to or not, yesterday, he's Mr. Munoz basically said, we were at fault. It's we're. I'm a civil lawyer. I don't know. Okay. Of course.
Do you believe that regulation is necessary? Both Chris Christie and Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky have come out pretty forcefully to talk about the issue of rebooking. Do you think that there is some sort of policy constriction?
I applaud Jan for what she plans on doing, only because the airlines haven't self-policed themselves. So, Donald Trump, one of his strong suits is, government. We need to deregulate. There's too much regulation. But in this case, I believe that if Jan can get that passed, and it goes to the issue of how to handle overbooking. Unfortunately, the principal needs to take charge here of the student. All right, I'll take two more questions. Not from the Wall Street Journal, because I've done that. Yes, sir.
Has the city of Chicago reached out to the family at all?
No. Okay, I'll do two more. One more. Go. I'm sorry.
Have you spoken to Dr. Dow at all about what you expect him to
No, I haven't had any discussions like that. No. Yes, sir.
What would be just compensation?
I don't have a clue. I mean, I haven't. He's going to have medical treatment for some time, and I don't know what's going to come of that. I haven't spoken to his doctors. I have no way of. I'm saying to you exactly what I say to clients who ask, "What's my case worth?" I don't know. I mean, there's too much. It hasn't even been a week, so I have no idea. At the appropriate time, we know how to evaluate a case for a fair and adequate compensation. Last question.
And aside from the money involved, since the company has said, basically, we are at fault, it was our mistake, what specifically is left to litigate in a case?
Well, I assume that United will. Mr. Munoz is the CEO. Believe me, he will have a team of lawyers who will get involved, and there will be a litigation. I would like to adopt everything you just said. End of story. But it's not that easy. So I think that United will probably be interested in having the city of Chicago be involved, maybe equally, maybe some percentage-wise. But lawsuits are never as clear to a layman, if you will, as you would think they would be. Lawyers have a way of, making things more difficult. We'll try not to do that. I want to thank you on behalf of the family, and I hope I've been able to, we have been able to impart and give you our perspective on things. Okay? So, have a good day.